She captured the world's heart as Hermione Granger, but what the world didn't see was the battle behind the spotlight. This is not just the story of an actress. This is a transformation of a girl into a global voice. Born in Paris, raised in Oxfordshire, Emma Charlotte Dwyer Watson was a shy, book-loving child. At just 9 years old, she walked into an audition room and unknowingly walked into history. Out of thousands of girls, she was chosen to become Hermione Granger. The world saw confidence, magic, and brilliance. But Emma was just trying to survive fame at an age she barely understood. Behind the lights, she was overwhelmed, struggling with anxiety, privacy, and the crushing weight of perfection. She once said, "I felt like I was living in a bubble, constantly watched, never truly free." Even while filming, she buried herself in books, trying to hold on to the real Emma. For over a decade, she lived as Hermione, until the final day on the set of Harry Potter. When the camera stopped rolling, Emma broke down in tears, not just because a chapter had ended, but because she didn't know who she was without Hermione. While the world celebrated her success, she sat in hotel rooms, silent, afraid, searching for herself. She could have disappeared like many child stars. But Emma chose something else. She chose to fight for something bigger than herself. At the peak of her fame, Emma walked away from Hollywood and walked into a college classroom at Brown University. There, without makeup, without cameras, she rediscovered her voice. But the turning point came in 2014, when she stood before the United Nations and gave the now iconic he for she speech. Her voice shook, her hands trembled, but her words changed millions. If not me, who? If not now, when, she said, echoing not just a speech, but a personal revolution. Emma Watson transformed from an actress into an activist. She traveled to Bangladesh to meet female factory workers. She sat with refugees in camps in Jordan. She launched book clubs to empower young women. She funded education for girls who'd never seen a classroom. And every step of the way, she carried scars from the pressure, the trolls, the headlines that tried to reduce her to just a pretty face. But Emma fought back with books, with speeches, with action. What the world didn't see were the sleepless nights, the public breakdowns, the interviews she walked away from in tears. She was criticized for being too serious, too feminist, too quiet. But she never stopped, because Emma knew the real battle wasn't in front of cameras. It was in classrooms with no chairs, in villages where girls were told to stay silent, in boardrooms where women were ignored. She wasn't just fighting for herself anymore. She was fighting for every girl who couldn't. Emma once held a wand. Now, she holds the voices of millions. She stood beside Malala. She held hands with activists in Rwanda. She helped rewrite the rules of global gender equality. She turned down major roles to focus on real change. She's not chasing fame. She's building legacy. Through Emma's journey, we learned that true strength isn't in spells or scripts. It's in showing up when it matters. It's in daring to speak, even when your voice shakes. Today, Emma Watson is more than a former child star. She is a UN Women Goodwill Ambassador, an advocate, an author, a woman who chose depth over drama, purpose over popularity. From red carpets to refugee camps, from wizarding spells to real-world justice, Emma taught us all something powerful. You don't need to be loud to change the world. You just need to be brave. She was Hermione to the world, but she became Emma to herself. This is the story of a girl who turned magic into meaning and chose to fight so others could rise. Thanks for watching.